It started back in 1985 when a group of people from the village of Mickleton here went off for a meal, and at the end of the main course they were offered strawberry cheesecake, frozen black forest gatto with the merest smidgen of stale cherry jam, and lamented the fact that they couldn't get traditional puds in restaurants anymore in the time of Nouvelle Cuisine. So they had the idea of, we'll have an evening of puddings. We could arrange that at 3 ways. That's how it all began. A little bit of what you fancy does you good. An indulgence, some chocolate, some cream, some butter. You don't eat that every day in today's health-conscious society, but it gives a great feeling to have a great evening of puddings and camaraderie and fun, and that's its success. It's like a medieval banquet with custard. It's a fun thing, centred around the Great British Pud. So people this evening are going to come along, meet each other, they'll all be sat together, strangers sat together, have a drink, discuss puddings, and their little family history of favourites will come out. I'll explain the rules of what's going to happen this evening and the story of the Pudding Club, and then they're going to have what we call a modest main course. No bread, no starters, because they take up valuable room, before we then have a parade of 7 traditional puds. Syrup sponge! There's a whole mixture of puddings this evening for people to enjoy, and then after the parade they'll start to work their way through eating the 7 puddings. We'll spend about 2 hours eating puddings. There are 2 major rules. The first is you can come up to the pudding buffet where the puddings are displayed. You can come up as many times as you like, but you have to wait to be asked. We call each table up one at a time throughout the whole evening. And what that does is it stops people coming along and gorging themselves in the first 15 minutes and then being full. This way, there's a chance that people will have all 7 puddings by just pacing the evening. The second rule is that you can only have 1 pudding in your bowl at any time. So you can't come up and say, I'd like some syrup sponge and some Jam Roly Poly together with a bit of custard. You can't do that. And so the danger there is that people take a large portion of a pudding, can only have 1, and then can't finish it or don't like it or have taken too much on early in the evening, and they've got to finish. You can only have 1 pudding in your bowl at any time.
I'm on portion number 5, and they are getting slightly smaller each time because I'm going to hit the full 7.
Well, on average, we've got 7 puddings here, and on average we make 4 of each. So we will have made 28 puddings this evening. Scary, isn't it?
What's this one? Try a piece of that. I think Jam Roly Poly's got to win it every time.
If you'd like another pudding, you don't have to wait for our invitation. Do come along. We'll then bring some tea and coffee to your table, and then we'll take the vote for pudding of the night. So if there's one you haven't tried, come and try it now so we can get your vote. Come for a pudding. Ladies and gentlemen, I interrupt you for the last time to ask you to give some consideration to your vote for pudding of the night.
I went for the college pudding. College pudding was the first pudding, but I'm sure the best. But by the end of the evening, I sang the 7th pudding. It was difficult to appreciate it because I think my taste buds were rather worn out and the stomach is getting a bit flaccid and tired.
I hope it's eccentric. I'd like it on my tombstone to say eventually Peter Henderson eccentric. And I should tell you, I'm only a member of 2 clubs. I'm chairman of the Pudding Club and I'm a member of Yorkshire County Cricket Club. And I don't want to be a member of anything else.